Oh my God.
And it's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
Well, the alerts imminently were sent out before the flood when people were sleeping because the flood hit in the very early hours of the morning. So people were sleeping in the middle of the night when this flood came. That was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault that the flood hit when it did.
Flash flooding in Texas.
What is happening in Texas?
They'd been begging for rain. Instead, they got killer floods. For 4 years, Central Texas lay bone dry. Then, on July 4th, 2025, a crushing 20 inches of rain, as much as Seattle gets in a half year, fell on parched ground in mere hours. Raging waters swept through towns, killing over 120 people, leaving more than 173 missing and causing more than $20 billion in damage. So how does a place dying of thirst turn into a death trap? And why were the warning sirens silent? Shortly after midnight on July 4, 2025, Central Texas drought-baked air hung heavy and uneasy. No one realized Tropical Storm Barry's dying remnants were racing inland from the Gulf. For 3 relentless days, slow-moving storms dumped more than 20 inches of rain onto ground baked so hard it couldn't absorb a drop. Limestone hills funneled torrents into narrow canyons and straight into towns like Kerr County, where the Guadalupe River exploded 26 feet higher in less than an hour. At Camp Mystic, 7-year-old Maya clutched her teddy bear as muddy water swallowed the bunk beds. Texas A&M swift water teams waded through the chaos, rescuing all 165 campers by dawn. Over 400 first responders and National Guard helicopters scrambled overhead, yet the warning sirens stayed silent. Cheers erupted as Maya climbed the helicopter ladder, but the celebration cracked with a haunting question. Why were we abandoned in the dark? The river's roar reached them long before the water did. Rescuers plunged chest deep through murky streets while collapsed bridges and washed-out roads sliced towns into islands. Boats flipped, helicopters circled helplessly as trees crashed down. Above the chaos, people clutched rooftops, drenched, shaking, praying for help. That night, 32-year-old Carlos Flores dialed 911, pleading for sirens to pierce the darkness. His wife and 2-year-old daughter huddled upstairs, watching water lick their front door. The dispatcher hit send, but years earlier, the county had scrapped the sirens. By dawn, the Guadalupe had retreated. Carlos survived. The 20 neighbors didn't. The material toll? A crushing $20 billion in wreckage. Homes vanished. Small businesses sank. And families like Carlos's bore the scars. This was more than nature's wrath. Back in 2017, Kerr County rejected federal funds for sirens, claiming they were too expensive. Meanwhile, FEMA and Weather Service staffing cuts stole critical warning minutes. Officials insisted digital alerts went out, but none found Carlos. Rage spread faster than the flood. Town halls exploded. Survivors howled for answers. Because what truly shattered across Central Texas wasn't just levees or roads, it was faith in those who'd promised to shield them. Kerr County had abandoned its flood warning sirens just 3 months before. A $1 million federal grant for new sirens? Rejected as too costly. Budgets cut. Safety protocols gutted. That revelation changed everything.
That was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault that the flood hit when it did.
This wasn't nature's fury. It was cold calculation, a reckless gamble with lives. And the dice came up dead. The 2025 flood screamed a warning. This was no accident. First, climate chaos, warmer Gulf waters, supercharged storms. San Antonio's rains now soak 6% heavier than in 1970. Austin's are drenched with 19% more. These aren't anomalies. their prophecies fulfilled. Next, the safety net unraveled. Aging gauges missed the surge. Drain pipes clogged, then exploded. Power lines sliced the dark. And the sirens? Rusted relics left to rot. Then, the politics. Kerr County spurned a $1 million siren grant. HB 13, a bill to update alerts, quietly died in committee.
Meanwhile, we're learning that Texas lawmakers failed to pass a bill to improve local flood warning systems this year. That is according to the Texas Tribune. House Bill 13 would have established a grant program for counties to build new emergency communication infrastructure. It didn't pass in the state Senate.
Saving pennies became a lethal bet. Now those savings and lives are just debris. But failure wasn't everywhere. Just miles away in Travis County, modern sirens blared. 0 deaths. Near Houston, wetland buffers drank flash floods before they reached doorsteps. Experts demand 3 lifelines. 1. Fail-proof alerts. Digital plus siren backups. Impossible to ignore. 2. Natural sponges. Permeable pavements, plus revived wetlands to stall the rush. 3. Grid armor. Weather-hardened power data lines. Because Texas isn't an island. This is about your block, your front porch, your future. Globally, storms now dwarf anything our parents imagined. The test isn't if, but when. Will we heed Texas's lesson? Or wait for the flood to write our obituary? What if Kerr County sirens hadn't been cut? Imagine river gauges instantly triggering alarms on phones and towers the second the Guadalupe surged. That's the future FEMA's 2024 guide demands. Automated alerts, synced to real-time sensors, powered by AI that maps flood paths before rain even hits. See streets that soak up rain, parks designed to flood. Nature's defenses buying precious escape time. But this won't happen without us. Demand hearings on the rejected $1 million. Push laws requiring tested sirens. Lock the funding before budgets shrink. So when storm clouds gather, and they will, ask yourself, will I stay quiet or fight for the warning that could save my family? Because when the waters come, one siren's wail, one phone's buzz can rewrite every story.